moving along to the next two boards, I'm going to be doing both of these at the same time. It's not going to be easy to get them both in frame at the same time. Even with a wide angle lens, there's just not enough room for me to negotiate everything that I need to without stepping in front of the camera, and it's just going to be a real pain in the butt. So probably just going to section off a part of it with the camera and work from there. Some may be in frame, some may not, and I apologize for that, but just got to work with what I have at the moment. So let me readjust and I will be right back. This is about the best camera angle I can get, so please bear with me. I'm going to try and get as much in as I can. But if you have any questions, again, please feel free to ask. Send me a PM or post a comment and I will answer it as soon as possible. So our first step is going to be laying the groundwork for the browns and the grays. So what I have for that is a custom mix. I don't know if you can see that. Has a little more of the kitty litter and a little more of the yard sand than what we used in the first board for the interior edges. And the reason that I'm doing that is I want to fade into where the pure yard sand is going to be for the lava area. I want it to look like it's transitioning naturally, not something that will have a hard to find line. So I've mixed that to do on the browns. I'm going to do that on the grays also, and in addition to that I'm going to be adding some of the larger pea gravel at different intervals closer to the grays on the browns, but with a few sprinkled in here and there. So first step is going to be laying the glue, then I'll be putting the sand, and then sprinkling the rocks. So let me get my glue ready and we will get started. Go ahead and spread my glue. Oh, I have string. That's not a bit. So here we go. Be careful when you're doing this not to get too close to the edge. You do want to do the entire edge, but you don't want it to end up dripping down in between the two boards. So just be wary of that as you're putting your glue on. Okay, I think that'll be enough. That's not going to be enough glue. All the way to the edge. Trying to get the little chunks of dried glue that fell on the table off there so it doesn't dry uneven. Okay. Now we need to line the boards back up and make sure that our transition is nice and even. Go in a second and wipe the excess out of here. A few places down here aren't Okay, now I'm just going to give that a minute to settle. So while I'm standing around waiting for the glue to settle, you can see okay, my glue is settled in. Now it's time to go ahead and pour on our rocky mix. I'm doing that the same as before, trying to keep it in a uniform motion as it's going on the table, shaking it instead of just pouring it. Almost to the end. Alright. So I'll go back and hit this edge just a little bit with our mix. Now I'm going to come in with just straight yard sand and mix a little bit of it on the top for any areas that didn't get covered with that first pass. So that should make the transition a little more smooth in the middle. Okay, so we're going to pull the boards apart now, and we're going to run the edge to get off any excess glue. If you happen to have some glue that sticks to the side, that's not a problem. Once it's dry, you can come in and sand it off or knock it off. The main thing that we're doing with this is making sure that the top part doesn't seal to where the boards won't line up flush together. Okay, so that's all for that. I'm going to let this dry, then I will turn the boards up, knock off the excess sand, and come back and show you what it looks like after this stage. And we're almost finished, so hang in there just a few more seconds and I'll show you what's going on. Now that this part is dry, I've gone in and added the pea gravel, heavier on this side, lighter on this side. And now I need to take my scenic cement and make sure that the pea gravel is properly sealed to the board, and then it will be on to doing this side and the other sides. I'll do those off camera because that's the same thing as I did on the first board, and these two will be done and ready to paint.